Really proud of our guys tonight. It's the first time we've really been in this position where we had a lead, a double-digit lead at halftime, and to be able to extend it. Early in the year when we've had some leads, because I think we were probably used to being behind, we really just didn't know how to handle it, and the big thing that we talk about with our guys is you have to handle outside influences, and so that might be bad officiating, right? That might be playing on the road with the crowd, and then playing the same no matter what the score is, whether you're up 10 or down 10, playing the same. And I felt like our guys really responded, stuck with the game plan. We made some adjustments offensively. We looked like a team coming back from Christmas that had eaten a lot of gravy, apple pie, Christmas cookies, and we were really slow going, and you could see it. We just weren't, not necessarily an attack. I think our guys thought they were moving, but they were stuck in the mud, and so we missed a lot of slips. We knew they were going to hard hedge, and we really didn't hit any in the first half. We missed a bunch. In the second half, obviously, we hit way more. And so Casey really sparked us. You make 7 threes. And then the other thing is we really just executed our game plan. We knew they were going to post 1 through 5. I thought we defended the post very well. We knew we had to really rebound. They're a big physical team. We handled them on the boards, out-rebounding them by 10 on the game. And then thirdly, we just had to make sure our offense wasn't their best offense with catastrophic turnovers. Of course, we start the game with Trey Burnett throwing it right to them for their first 2 points. That was like, one of the 3 main keys we had talked about for 2 days. But we really tightened it up. Second half, we had 1 turnover, and that was with like 1.9 seconds to go when we were holding the ball. And so really happy with how we played together and executed our game plan.
Does this rank up there? It's got to be one of your best all-around performances in the year.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we need more Christmas vacations. But it was. Really, you just never been around this thing for 19 years. You just never know how a team's going to come back from Christmas break. And Montana was nice enough last Sunday to move their game up 1 hour so we could catch our flight out that night. So all the guys got home that night. It sounds like a little thing, but it gives them 1 more day of being home. Some of our assistants were saying, hey, let's bring them back Christmas night. We only have 2 days. And I've just been down that road too many times. I just know what those practices are like. And it's one of those things where the players don't want to be there. The coaches don't want to be there. I'm not sure you get a whole lot done. So we chose, hey, be at home with your families, do your stuff on Christmas. We brought them back to the 26th. I thought we had 2 good practices. And the guys look fresh and rejuvenated. And this, a little thing, but as I look back to Christmas Day, at about 7, you text the guys Merry Christmas, they're texting back, da-da-da. But I had about 7 guys at Christmas night text like, Coach, Christmas has been great, but I'm really fired up to get back for practice, and let's get another W. And honestly, that doesn't happen very often, where guys are like fired up to be back from their 3.5 days off or whatever. And I thought that was a microcosm of how we played today.
Have you been waiting for James to kind of have that spark offensively with him?
Yeah, about 2 months. James played really well against Montana. Played really, really well. And, it was, he didn't play a whole lot in the first half. And they changed their starting lineup. They started Tybee as their 5, and they took out Panoski. And so, but James still had a good start. He missed a couple little chip shots, but they looked better, we've done some fine tuning with him, I think, to help him, and he looked good. And then I just didn't like the matchup defensively because Tybee made like 3 threes against Montana. He can shoot it at a decent rate, and we knew if he got going, that was going to be trouble for us. So anyway, didn't play a whole lot. So that's why we started Robertson to start the second half, was purely for the matchup. So then when they put Panoski in, or number 50, I think was the first sub for them, in terms of their bigs. So we put James in right away, and man, he came out attacking the rim. The guys get on him like, why aren't you dunking? And he went with some authority. But confidence is an amazing thing, right? Plays well against Montana, had a career high at that time with 9. So now he's having positive thoughts for 5 days, right? And he comes back and took advantage of his time. And, it's not only for himself, but it's also for his teammates to believe in him. And they did a good job finding him with some slips. We had a couple of really tough and ones, which we hadn't seen in, quite a while. And if we can get him going in the right direction, I like where we're going.
Yeah, speaking of positive thoughts, I mean, you won 3 in a row, and heading into the summer league on a performance like this, you got to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, we're getting traction. I'm really proud. We're really proud of our guys for a lot of things, but when you start your season 0-5, and it's a new coach, and it's new everything, and you have all these new guys, it would have been easy for the guys to just kind of, I'm not sure, we're just the same old stuff again. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you, our leadership has been great. Our guys have been very positive. There's ups and downs. It ain't all, it's not a grand utopia by any stretch. Jeremy, you have to look up utopia. But to start 0-5 like that and weather the storm and going West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, right? And then finally, and we haven't played well at home at all. We were bad against Wayne State. We were awful for the first 32 minutes against Youngstown. And we weren't awful against Montana State, but we weren't great either. We made the big play at the end, and we were good defensively. So to be in this position, and I feel fortunate, I feel like we're getting better. Played pretty well against Montana. But now the real season begins, right? And there's some teams really trending upward in our league right now. A lot of new faces in the league. A lot of teams struggled in our league early. But you're right, to win 6 of our last 9, and 2 of those losses are a double overtime loss to Creighton, and then UNLV. And Creighton, is doing all right. UNLV beats Arizona, 8 days after we lost to them. And Stanford wins at Texas. Like, we've had a really good schedule. And then when you add in the travel with it, it's going to be great to have 4 days here to just really fine-tune and get locked in. But Omaha's a racehorse team. They're like the LA Lakers of the 80s. I mean, they want to go, nonstop. And then 2 days later, we play the polar opposite in Denver, who just wants to slow it, grind it, and work it like crazy. So our guys are pumped.
Coach, the perimeter game obviously was kind of distance you tonight, and obviously the story of the game. But your interior play, especially in the first half or so, where you rebounded him, you had like 20.
Yeah.
I haven't covered you this year, so I apologize if I'm asking
No,
you
you're
a
good.
question. But have you had an interior game like that this
No.
year?
Our interior game has been Tyler Larson and Brandon Boss driving to the rim. I mean, we've really had – and Eric Robertson has played well, but he's not a back-to-the-basket, real guy. So James has really picked it up. Austin Sparks early in the year was doing well, but he's just been killed with injuries. I mean, concussion. Today it's a hamstring. Before the concussion, it was an ankle. I mean, and Austin's a tough kid. It is what it is. So, but we need that. That's what we've been, for about 3 weeks, we have to develop some side of inside presence.
What do you attribute that to? I mean, what changed today? Or is
Well,
it one of those things?
No, it started against Montana. James, I thought, really played well against Montana. We made a couple minor adjustments offensively with some of our motion stuff. We worked on some things, especially the last 2 days, on screen and roll to help James get the ball on the move, And then, honestly, just, I think, confidence, right? James he hadn't seen the ball go through the hole for a month. Close to it, right? And now he sees the ball go through the hole, and it's amazing. Brandon Boss, one game earlier this year, couldn't throw it in the ocean. Gets fouled a couple times, goes 4 for 4 from the line, and they couldn't stop him the last 10 minutes of the game. Sometimes you just got to see you go through the hole, So I'd say it's a combination. We've wisened up as a coaching staff to try to help them in a better position. Guys are trying to look for them because they know we need them. So it's a few different things, but you're right. Casey going 7 for 10 really sparked us in the second half. Larson again, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Trey Norris, 8 assists. I mean, there were games this year I don't think we had 8 assists as a team. I thought he really had a great floor game. They tried to press us, and throw it, that trapping to start the second half, and they kind of had that funky zone, and they were kind of trapping, and we were a little tentative right away, but we didn't turn it over. We had 1 turnover, right, in the second half. But I thought he had a great floor game. Of course, Hunter with 15 and 5 and some big offensive rebounds. And then flipping it, we hold 25, McWhorter, who's a leading scorer, leading rebounder, leader in assists, to 3 for 11 for 7 points. That was huge.
You talked about confidence. Obviously, Castro had it going. Were you setting him up, setting up plays for him as the game was going on, or was that just a matter?
We really weren't. The guys, I think, were just finding them. When we were patient on offense. We want to play up tempo. We've been trying to do that more the last couple games, especially. The guys were finding him. He hit his first one, I believe, on transition in the first half when we found him on that left wing. But then he really got in the groove, and when Casey gets in the groove, I mean, look out. But our guys did a really good job of finding him. We showed a lot of video to our guys like we always do, but where if we just have patience and discipline against these guys, like eventually we're going to break down, and our guys are really looking for Casey. And what that does is when Casey starts hitting them, then it opens up driving lanes for our other guys. But really, I thought we were clicking pretty well offensively in that second half.
Anything else, guys?
Do you go back out to Milwaukee next year?
We do.
Question.
And you know what? They have an all-league format that's really good, and they're redshirting because they can't make the tournament this year because of their APR issues. So they decided to redshirt them. So. But at the end of the day, just fired up how we finished the team off. And we hadn't done that up to this point. So you got to go through all these experiences when you're kind of starting anew. And at the end of the day, just proud of how we executed down the stretch. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Coach.